welcome to the show. I'm retroCombs. I hope you enjoyed those images from Columbus, Indiana, where I host the show from a basement in Columbus, Indiana. That's where we're coming to you from today. And today we have something really special lined up for you, especially for all you MEGA65 enthusiasts out there. But first, let's hit a few things that are happening within the retroCombs and MEGA65 community. First of all, there's a lot of excitement. I mean, a lot of excitement in the air as the next batch of MEGA65s are set to arrive in the eager hands of users sometime this summer. I know there's a lot of chatter on the Discord. Some people, I believe, are already receiving those. If you have received yours, please let us know down in the comments down below. And for those of you who want to learn how to use your MEGA65, if you've not really checked the channel out, and if this is your first time here on the retroCombs channel, be sure and check out the link down below, because I have been going chapter by chapter through the user's guide. So I'm working chapter through chapter through the user's guide on the MEGA65 user's guide, just so you have a visual reference as opposed to just a written reference of what is covered in that guide. So you're going to want to make sure and check that out. And just so you know, I know there's a lot of you wondering, when's chapter 4 going to release? Well, chapter 4 should have dropped today. It should have dropped today, but it didn't drop today because of who my guest is today. And I'm really excited that chapter 4 didn't drop so that I could introduce you to my guest who's coming up. So sorry that's taking so long getting chapter 4 out, but I think you're going to enjoy it. And joining me all the way from Auburn, New South Wales, Australia, I would like to introduce you to someone who I have collaborated on a video with previously, where we created the MEGA65 primer. What do you say? Primer? I don't know, whichever you say. I'm excited to have Gürçe with us because this is one of the few chances we get to spend time with a MEGA65 developer. Now, they kind of live in mystery on Discord, and it's going to be fun to see the faces behind the software. So without further ado, would you help me welcome Gürçe to the retroCombs show?
No problems, retroCombs.
Before we dive into your demo, I'd like to ask a couple of questions. The first one is probably something that's pretty standard when we meet with our fellow retro computing colleagues is, what was your first experience with a Commodore computer?
Well, yeah, my dad bought a Commodore 64 back for our family back in 1986, and he traded in his pocket calculator to get a $100 discount from the salesman. He convinced the salesman that this pocket calculator was also a computer because it had a CPU inside it, and the salesman bought it. And so yeah, my sister and I, we fell in love with the machine from day one. And you know, just even the packaging, the boxing, opening it up, plugging it in, powering it on, seeing that ready prompt for the first time. And I think another key day one memory was the Andrew Collins book on Introduction to Basic, and I can show you that book. And here, this book over here, it came with instructions on how to learn BASIC for the machine, and even this test card demo. This was Andrew's first demo. You could load off the cassette tape here, and I remember my sister and I were just amazed at all the beautiful music and graphics and animation that was being performed by this machine, and yet it made us fall in love with it even more. And I later learned that, yes, all this entire demo was written 100% in BASIC, including the music, which is wonderful. And yeah, other day one memories I have of the machine, the cartridges games, like that. Some beacons here. So yeah, these are some of our first day one cartridge games that came with, games like Seawolf. I could bring it a bit closer. Yeah, these were all a lot of paddle games, actually. Pinball Spectacular, Le Mans, yeah, 3 paddle games. And also, another big one in our household was Wizard of War. This one my father fell in love with on day one. He played in the game like the whole night through, and the next morning he was so ashamed of himself he had to go to work without any sleepy, and he promised never to play computer games ever again. So yeah, that's what day one was like for us. And beyond that, I loved programming in BASIC, and in my teenage years that moved on into assembly language, which I never got terribly good at. I found a steep learning curve. The best I could do was a joystick driver written inside an interrupt, but yeah, not enough to put the pieces together and make an entire game, which was my dream.
You know, I think that probably mirrors the history of many of those watching today. So tell us, how did you actually get involved? How did that progression go over those so many years for you to get involved with the MEGA65 project and the developer community?
But since then, decades have passed. I had a career in the software development industry, and the the skills have grown. And when I heard about the MEGA65 project, it was a wonderful feeling, like reconnecting with that childhood memory. And it's an open source project, so any of us can join in and contribute to it and make it better. So, you know, I jumped in and helped out with bug fixing, writing tools, helping with documentation and so on. And yeah, it's been a whole bundle of fun.
I really appreciate you sharing that background. And now it's time for a quick break before we unveil the demo, The Silent Enigma, which, as I understand, is a cover song from the metal band
Anathema.
I had not heard of them before, and Gürçe was nice enough to go ahead and send a link so I could experience that metal band firsthand. Go ahead and check it out. There'll be a link down in the video description below. But now I'm sure you're ready for the demo. So fire up a retro teeny, sit back, relax, and watch the pixels now as they come flying through the air. Now, before we play the demo, I should mention that there are some certain requirements for the core and the ROM, but instructions are provided, and it's pretty easy to do. I have updated my MEGA65 to the correct ROM and core so that I could run this demo as you see here. Let's go ahead and mount the SD card disk image. We use the mount command. Let's go ahead and take a look at the directory. All right, that verifies we have the Silent Enigma disk image loaded. Let's go ahead and run the program. All right, you see we have the Silent Enigma demo. We have opportunity to make a few selections. The first one is the About. So these are the About screens. You see About screen number 1, About screen number 2, and you'll have time to dig through those when you download your version of the demo. See, we have some options. We can play the demo, about this demo, browse. Here we are browsing some of the source files. If we want to take a look at those, we can simply press a number and that will load that particular project file. It's nice that he provides all of the files so that we can see how he accomplished some of the effects within the demo. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the demo. We have a nice switcher that switches from NTSC to PAL, which is required. And we've done that in software. We don't need to go to the freezer to make that change. Let's press any key to continue. You can see it does take a little while to initialize. All right, here we go. Well, simply put, that was incredible, especially when you think about that being a program that was written primarily in BASIC. And I have to say, I love those call outs to my channel. They put a smile on my face, as I'm sure the call outs to many of the other developers and the community members will get a smile on their face as well. Can you share with us what inspired you to create the Silent Enigma? And then what was that process like?
So yeah, thanks, retroKombs. Yeah, it was a culmination of a lot of different ideas that accumulated over the last year, different ideas for a demo I could potentially add together and stitch together. And yeah, I finally got the chance to do that last month. And I did find, well, one problem was, I mean, every project you have, you want to improve upon the last one. And getting the frame rates a bit improved this time, I felt like I needed to work a bit there. So I skilled up again on assembly language. So any bottlenecks I found I tried to rewrite them in assembly. I did find it quite strenuous. It seemed like 10 lines of BASIC turned into 200 lines of assembly language code, which would take me, half a day to write and half a day to debug. So it was quite time expensive to do such optimizations. But anyway, a good experience, and I hope you see the benefits when you watch the demo.
Well, it's good to know that assembly language hasn't gotten any easier over the years.
And of course, there's room to improve it next time too. I'm sure these can be optimized even further.
So can you talk to us a little bit about the tools that you use to create this demo? Because I'm sure there are others out there wondering how can they get started creating or bringing their own projects to life?
So yeah, with the assembly language, I initially started working with Groupie's MEGA assembler, which runs natively on the machine. And beyond that, I also worked with the Acme compiler, which was a cross compilation on your PC and then bring that code over. And in addition, I also worked with, it was Grim Fandango. He had a library called Megaplot for drawing Petsky-based blocks, like 4x4 pixels. And I improved upon that so that you could draw 4x4 blocks in the form of lines, provide a start point and an end point and plot the entire line through in assembly. And yeah, that's being used in this demo as well, which you saw with the Quicks lines and the Quicks triangles and so forth. So yeah, those are the main things I worked on.
I really appreciate the depth that you took to share your process with our viewers today. Again, I believe there's probably folks out there who will want to download those tools, which I think most of those are available on the file host. So what are your next steps to share this demo with the world? And while you're talking about that, do you have any plans for any other future MEGA65 projects? Because I'm excited to see what's up your sleeves next.
For upcoming projects, firstly, I'll plan to release this Silent Enigma demo onto the file host very soon so that others can try it on their machines. I know it's a bit of a sort of navigation with getting the right development core and the right ROM that I've tweaked to make this one work. But eventually those tweaks will get into the mainstream core in ROM, and I'll update the demo accordingly to suit those. And yeah, but beyond that, well, this project has already shown that we're reaching the limits of 11 projects. When the source gets too large, it's starting to take a very long time to compile. So I think my next project is going to be to try improve that compile time speed for 11, speed that up so we can iterate faster with larger projects. Beyond that, well, then I guess it's time to pick a fun project that can make use of that. Maybe it will be the Megafoot project, which is kind of on pause for similar reasons. It was getting too large and big. But yeah, I'm happy to see what's up ahead in the future. We'll see.
I know I'll be looking forward to your next project, as well as I'm sure the MEGA65 community will be. And we can't wait to see what's up next. Thank you so much for joining me tonight and sharing your incredible work with our audience. I also want to thank you for allowing me to premiere this demo. It really is an honor and a privilege to do that. And I hope we did that in a fun way. And we brought a MEGA65 software developer to life for many out there who maybe have just heard your name.
Thank you for having me, retroKombs. I hope you enjoyed the demo and your viewers too, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
And to each of you, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to download Gürçe's demo on the MEGA65 file host, link in the video description below. I hope you enjoyed this interview format, which was my own homage to the late, great Tom Snyder from The Tomorrow Show. Not sure if you remember him. Those of my generation will. He came on after Carson and did amazing interviews. Until next time, this is retroCombs reminding you to visit my Buy Me a Coffee page to learn how you can support the channel, and also hit that thumbs up and subscribe buttons down below. See you next time. retroCombs out.